Thank you both so much. I'm glad you touched on some of the issues. We will definitely get to the issues, the critical issues throughout our questions. We have 9 or 10 questions, but first of all, I want to talk or ask you each about some of the more mean things, the nasty things, the negative things said by your opponent, said by in the commercials. If you're to believe the commercials, Mr. McFadden, you're nothing more than a millionaire investment banker. You're out of touch with how most Minnesotans live. And you side with corporations and profits over people, and you hide your money offshore. How do you respond to critics who say you're wrong for Minnesota? And Senator, we will get to you on with some of yours too. But Mr. McFadden, you first.
You know, I'm proud of my business career. I'm very proud. I've worked very hard. My dad grew up on a dairy farm. My grandfather, his dad, died when he was 6 years old. My dad was able to go to college because my Uncle John, who ran the farm, paid for it. And so I've been able to participate in the American dream. I've worked hard. I'm really proud of that. And I will not apologize for it. I am very disappointed in Al Franken to run negative ads. They are patently false. And every news organization has come forth and said they are false. I run a company that's headquartered here, that's incorporated here, that pays income taxes in the United States. We can do so much better. I am so tired of politics as usual. That's why I'm running. I've entered the private sector. I believe that the biggest single issue in this country is we've created this professional class of politician, and it's killing us. And I believe in 6 years that Senator Franken has become part of that professional class. He has voted with the president 97% of the time. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. He is the most partisan senator in the Democratic Party. He has voted 159 out of 161 votes with the Democratic Party. That makes him the most partisan senator in Washington. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. I left my job and I put my family at risk because I fundamentally believe that we can do better in this country and this state. We have the opportunity to see our best days ahead of us by getting onto the pathway of growth and prosperity. And it begins with energy and education and effective government. We are sitting on the doorstep of an energy renaissance if we allow it to happen and get the EPA out of the way. I will get pipelines built. I will get the mines open. And that will allow us and allow me to put more money into your pockets and allow us to grow at 4 to 5% a year as opposed to a 0.5% to 1% that we've seen under President Obama and Al Franken.
Thank you very much, Mr. McFadden. Senator Franken, in the same way, if you believe some of the websites that are out there, some of the commercials I've seen, you're just nothing more than a comedian. You don't spend any time in Minnesota. You vote robot-like with Obama and the Democratic Party, as your opponent has pointed out several times, and even proposed abortion on demand. How do you respond, sir, to critics who say you're wrong for Minnesota?
Well, I don't subscribe to those websites. You know, I always vote in what I believe is in the interests of the people of Minnesota. And I've, in an era where there's been a lot of gridlock, I've worked across party lines to find common sense solutions to things. I've worked with so many of my Republican colleagues, with Dick Lugar on the National Diabetes Prevention Program, which is saving lives, which is 75% of our cost of our health care is on chronic diseases, and diabetes is one of the biggest. On workforce training with Lamar Alexander, a Republican of Tennessee. On pharmaceutical safety, I did a bill with Pat Roberts, Republican of Kansas. The Farm Bill, one of the most bipartisan bills that we did, I co-wrote the energy title on that bill and worked for Minnesota's renewable energy. My first bill was a veterans bill with Johnny Isaacson of Georgia, and that was a veterans bill. We had this propane crisis this past year. I have a bill that's co-sponsored by Rob Portman, Republican of Ohio. I've worked across party lines and gotten things done. Part of the reason we had this meltdown 6 years ago, 5 years ago, was because the credit rating agency, Standard & Poor's, gave AAA ratings to all this junk. I did a bipartisan bill to regulate those credit rating agencies so they can't give AAA to the structured financial products. And I did that with Senator Roger Wicker, a Republican of Mississippi. Look, you can slice and dice these numbers any way you want and come up with with things that say pretty ridiculous things. But I've worked for Minnesota every day that I'm there, and I've been proud to do that.
Thank you, Senator Franken. Let's get to the issues now, Robert.
Excuse me, I was told that we get a rebuttal.
We'll give you each 30 seconds if you want to rebut each other's negative ads.
Yeah, you know, I'd love a rebuttal, because one of the things I'm going to ask everyone to do is watch Senator Franken's actions, not his words. Political Magazine ranked Senator Franken 100 out of 100 senators in their ability to co-sponsor legislation. That's a fact, not my opinion. He is the most partisan senator in the Democratic Party. That's a fact, not my opinion. He has done nothing to accelerate the Polymet mine. He has not approved the Keystone Pipeline, which has been under review for 6 years. Polymet's been under review for 8 years. Look at his actions, not what he says.
Senator Franken, 30 seconds.
We can take these issues one by one. Look, that study that said I was the most partisan said that Ted Cruz was one of the most nonpartisan senators in the United States Senate. He's the guy who led the shutdown of the government. So if you're citing that kind of thing, I think that shows kind of a weak position. That's all.
They're on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Thank you.
Al Franken is the Ted Cruz of the Democratic Party.
Except that Ted Cruz is right there, more bipartisan than a majority of the Senate.
Maybe we're going to have
He's
an
on the
arm wrestle
opposite
here. I'm
end
not
of the
sure.
spectrum.